Are see-through hunting blinds genius or garbage? Well, today I'm gonna give you the nitty-gritty. George back with the New Hunter's Guide, the YouTube channel, and your new favorite podcast, helping new hunters get started and bringing new insights to all hunters. Today, guys, I'm gonna give you an in-depth review on the TideWe see-through hunting blind. I'm gonna talk about, number one, does it really work? Is it really see-through? Can you shoot through it? Is it durable? Is it weather resistant? Is it silent? Is it worth the cost? And more. Future me here, and I have some updates. TideWe gave me this hunting blind to test and review about 2 full years ago. I set it up in the woods and it has stayed there day and night. 365 days a year. I have never taken it down and I have never moved it. I recently went to check on the blind and get it ready for my 3rd hunting season in it, and I did have to do some Gorilla Tape patching, mostly on the roof, because wind, rain, snow, ice, and tree branches will wreak havoc on pretty much any hunting blind. But I'm very impressed with how well this thing is held up. I like this hunting blind so much that I just bought a second one with my own money to use on another property. If you are thinking about ordering one, please use my link and 18% off discount code in the video description down below. If you do that, I make a small commission on qualifying purchases on TideWe's website because I'm a TideWe affiliate and every bit helps. And that 18% off discount stacks on top of most sale prices and applies to most items on TideWe's website. Thank you for your support. So number one, does it really work? Is it see-through? Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you that I was pleasantly surprised. This is kind of like the mesh on a regular hunting blind that you could keep closed in front of you and you could hunt through and shoot through that mesh. It is kind of like that sort of level of visibility, but it's the entire blind. Well, 3 full panels, right? You have your left, your right, and your whole front from top to bottom. They are 100% see-through, except for, you know, where the bars are and some seams and stitching in the windows. They're basically 100% see-through. Your back panel is black, your top panel is black. And then you've got a window on each one of those see-through sides, and there's a little peephole behind you in case you want to turn around and open that and check out if there's something going on back there. But can you see through it? Yes, you can. Now, how far can you really see through it? Well, the way I put it is kind of like this, and then this just doves right into the second point here, is can you shoot through it? Well, the answer to both questions is yes. It's see-through and you can shoot through it. I look at it like this. You have good visibility out to about archery range. Any regular archery hunting range, you are gonna have sufficient visibility out of this thing to see a deer, to see a turkey, make an identification, and then take a shot. All right, so I think you have good visibility out to maybe 40 yards or so, maybe a little bit less, where you can see the detail of what you need to see. Maybe 35 yards you have that level of visibility. You are not gonna have great visibility to see out 200 yards and take long rifle shots. It's just not there. It is not that kind of a material. You cannot see that far. That said, when you walk around this thing, on the outside, it looks like a solid wall of material. All right, every time I showed it to somebody, they were shocked. From the outside, it looks just like a brick wall of material, and then you walk right through the opening, and then boom, it is just clear and bright, and you can see amazing level of detail for how much this thing works as concealing you from the outside. So I was very impressed at how see-through it is. That said, it is not as see-through as some of the marketing leads you to believe, but it is plenty good enough for archery ranges, at least in most kinds of conditions. Now, where I really find this blind to be helpful and effective is enabling you to see everything in your periphery field of vision. All right, so I do open the windows just a little bit so I can have a crystal clear view out to any distance to see the game coming in, but I need to be able to see all around me. Well, I like to be able to see all around me, especially for turkey hunting. It doesn't matter quite as much for deer hunting because the deer are bigger animals, but I've had this happen season after season where I hear a deer or I hear a turkey and they're just out of my field of view two, they're just out of the corner. They're on the one panel that's closed. I don't have the window open, or I just have the front corner sort of open and the backs are closed, and I can't tell what it is. I can't see if it's a shooter. I don't know what's going on, if it's a buck or a doe or a hen or a tom or what. And then sometimes I never know. I never see it. It never comes into visual range through one of the holes, or it walks by just a split second and I don't have enough time to assess it, make a decision, and then take a shot. So for this blind, if I've got an animal in close like that, I can see it. I can know exactly if it's a shooter or not. And then when it does pass in front of one of the windows, I'm ready to take that shot. Or I can just shoot through the mesh, all right, if I want to do that. Now, I've hunted in this thing for an entire season, and I have not shot through the mesh yet. I've opened the mesh so I could shoot through the opening. Why? Well, I normally shoot through the mesh. I'm a mesh shooter. I don't care. I have never had one problem with a broadhead shooting through the mesh with a bow, and certainly not with a gun. It's been totally fine for me. Almost every deer I have shot through a blind has been with the mesh up and shooting straight through the mesh almost every time. And I am plenty confident to shoot through this mesh. However, I did not want to put a big hole in the side of my brand new fancy see-through blind. So for whatever reason, I just kept opening the windows and using it that way. But can you shoot through the mesh? It's a little thicker than your regular mesh. Even on the windows of this blind are made of the same material as the walls of this blind. So whatever you shoot through is the same thickness. So if you're comfortable shooting through the window mesh, you should be just as comfortable shooting right through the left wall. All right, it's gonna be no difference. It's not gonna hinder your arrow or your shotgun or your rifle anymore. The next big question on this is durability. So what is this thing made out of? Well, I alluded to this earlier, and that is that I go through a lot of hunting blinds. All right, I kill a lot of ground blinds. It's just the way it is. And one of the big reasons is I leave my blinds up year round. All right, 24/7, 365, my ground blinds are up in the woods. Now you might say, George, why do you do that? Does TideWe recommend you do that? No, nobody recommends you do that. But what I have found, guys, is this. Pop-up ground blinds are basically consumable products. They last a little bit longer than a gallon of milk does, but not quite as long as a cell phone. They're just not designed to last a long time. And what I have found is by putting up and taking down a ground blind again and again, I do more wear and tear on the blind, break rods, strain things, tear fabric, putting it up and taking it down than I do just letting it sit there. And that's because I hunt early season deer, I hunt late season deer, I hunt spring turkeys. So if I'm gonna pick it up and put it down 3 times a year, it is gonna wear out and break faster than if I just leave it up, sit in the woods forever. And my experience getting 2 to 3 years out of a hunting blind is pretty good. That's basically the average for most blinds. If I can get 3 or more years out of a blind, then that's an A+1 for me. And I go through a lot of blinds. I have bought what is marketed as the most durable blinds on the market by brands that build their name on their durability. And I'm not going to mention any names, and I have found most of them very sad. But I say all that to say this. When I first opened and put up this TideWe blind, I was absolutely impressed with the level of durability. The fabric, the material was stronger. The joints, the hubs, the rods, the fit, everything was stronger and tighter than some of the best blinds that I have bought from some of the most durable brands on the market. I was totally shocked. All right, it's got 4 stakes around the corners. It's got 4 strings around the sides, so you can stake it down from 8 different points very easily. And this thing stands strong. I was completely blown away at how durable this thing was and how well built it was. All right, just the pieces that slide the windows open and closed, very nicely designed, very well put together. I can already tell this thing is going to last a lot longer than many other blinds that I had that cost more money, that were marketed as super durable and all these other things. This thing really was built smartly. The next question, is it quiet? Well, what they did very well on this blind was the way they designed the windows to slide up and down. You can open the windows and close them with making almost no noise whatsoever. Super quiet. Now, it does have a zipper door, and I hate zipper doors, all right? I absolutely despise zipper doors. I hate the noise that they make. However, I will say that the zipper on this door is much quieter than the zipper door on the blind I was replacing. All right, it's still zipper, it still makes some noise, but if you work it slowly, it actually is a very quiet zipper. It is by no means silent, but it is quiet as far as zippers go, and I personally very much appreciate that. But my newer blind has these clips in addition to the zipper, so once you unzip it, you can open and close it much quieter. Now, how does it hold up for weather? All right, I have hunted in this thing in all kinds of weather. Hot, sunny, cold, frigid, a little bit of rain, a lot of rain, occasional downpours. It holds up just fine. It is 100% fine. You ask, well, does water come in through the pores and get your stuff wet? It comes through the open windows just like it does with any blind, but I don't think I noticed any water coming through the pores in the material on the sides or on the front, anything like that. Didn't have any issues with that at all. It works just fine. And I will say I didn't notice any difference in scent control on this thing. When I was hunting turkeys, I had deer walking around me, studying me, eating, grazing, looking around. Eventually they smelled me and they ran off after I could have shot them 100 times. And I thought, you know what? That is no different than any other blind, even though it's more porous. And really, guys, blinds don't block scent. You've got windows, you have seams, you keep breathing, the scent goes out of them whichever way the wind blows. But I did not feel like this blind did any worse than any of the solid wall blinds on the market that I've used. Now, if you have a hard wall blind, well, that may do a little bit better. But in terms of any pop-up blind, I noticed no difference. And guys, I will say I've had deer, I've had turkeys within feet of me, hanging out, eating, scratching, playing for 20 minutes, half hour, long period of time, long enough to shoot them all 100 times, never saw me, never noticed me, not one issue ever, even with the windows open, even with me moving around some. I'd even stop sometimes and call to the turkeys within 30 feet of me, and they'd look around trying to figure out where's that turkey calling to me, and then they just went back to scratching and eating and preening and everything else. So the camouflage, the concealment on this thing, very good. The next big thing on this blind is the price. All right, this thing retails for about $230, somewhere in that ballpark, but it seems to be perpetually on sale on TideWe's website. In fact, I don't think I have ever gone there and not seen it on sale. Now, that price goes up and down some, but the sale price seems to be somewhere around $130 to $160. But I think, guys, that this blind may be one of the best priced hunting blinds of any type in this price range. All right, for $150, I cannot think of a better hunting blind to get. Whether it's see-through or not, it is just a quality blind. Future me back again, and I just want to give you some updates on how this thing is held up after 2 years in the elements. Overall, the structural integrity of this blind is in really good shape. The walls are in good shape. The see-through mesh is in good shape. All the fittings and zippers are working well. Something I noticed on some other hunting blinds is where the mesh meets the edges, or the things that slide up and down, or the zippers tend to wear out, almost biodegrade over time or something. Not so with this blind. Very little evidence of wear and tear. Those are in good shape. I did notice that little panel on the back that you can peek out through is starting to sag, but I never used that anyway, so I just Gorilla Taped it up and it's no big deal for me. There has been some fading, but I've had other blinds that faded more in less time, so I'm very happy with how the color has held up also. I mentioned some of the patching I had to do, but this thing has been through some serious weather. We had a big tree fall over just a few feet from the front door of this blind, and while I'm really happy that it didn't fall on the blind, that just goes to show what kind of weather this thing has been through. Like I said, I'm so happy with this blind, I bought a second one with my own money. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and go get them in the woods.